Today we walk you through the repairing of 3 kW cutting head Retur's BM110, which is one of the most commonly used cutting head currently. First, we need a super clean bench. There are 3 requirements for the workbench. The first is the vertical air supply. Second, its network speed should reach 0.45 meter per second. Its maximum dependent particle size is within 100 micrometer. Third, let's check the equipment or tools we need to use. This is compressed air and this is the alcohol. We must have an alcohol concentration of 99.7% or higher. This is the alcohol can, the masking tape. Lead the tiger for dusting blowing tool. To remove the dust on the surface of the lens, red light pen, mirror removal tool, optic lens, wrench, dust-free cloth, low cotton swab, medium cotton swab, anti-static gloves or finger cuts. Now we clean the floating dust on the surface with an air compressed hand, especially the key parts of the protective mirror. The dead color must be cleaned. Clean the dust off the surface with rubbing alcohol. Do a deep clean. After cleaning, next change the optics. Let's do a red laser test first. After the red light pen is powered on, make a preliminary judgment on the state of the lens. We can see that the lens has obvious black shadow points and spots. It means that the internal lens is polluted. This is the first use of the red light laser pen to judge whether the lens is polluted. The second function is to judge whether the focus of the lens is normal. If the focus is not at zero focus at the mouth of the laser, it means that the lens inside may be installed backwards or it may not match. Here are 2 uses for the red light laser pen. Then we can also pass the exclusion method. Pull out the lower protective drawer first. See if the shadow of the red light is eliminated. Pull out the up protective lens. Judging whether the red light has black spots, the disassembled parts must be cleaned. Clean the interface piece again and get some protective glasses. This black spot is still there. It means that the front collimating and focus lens has been polluted and needs to be replaced. We're going to replace all the protective lenses. First, replace the lower protective lens and the upper protective lens. The cutting head is placed on the side, and the drawer is pulled out to avoid secondary pollution. Let's check that the lens is contaminated. We have to replace it in time. The inner cavity of the drawer should also be cleaned deeply with a cotton swab. Large or small swab will work, including some key parts. The sealing ring is very important and must be replaced in time because in the process of using, continuous high temperature leads to aging of the sealing ring. The sealing is not good. Poor sealing can lead to serious consequences because the air will blow into the cavity, cause the focus lens module to burn out easily, so we need to replace this sealing ring in time. Make sure the lens is free of dust before putting it in. If there is dust on the surface, you need to use lead the tiger, dust blower or alcohol. Wipe it clean and put it back on. Close the cover. So protect the lens, side cutting head, avoid secondary pollution. We clean the inside of the drawer, then took into the mirror, keep the lens clean. Can be pulled back. Next, we have to assemble the collimator and the focus lens. Check the replace. This is the collimator mount. After removal, seal the interface with masking paper in time to prevent dust from entering. Then use a professional mirror removal tool. Take off the collimator. Obviously, we can see a lot of burn points. This should be replaced in time. Similarly, we use mirror removal tools to disassemble and replace. Our lenses have now been replaced with a whole new set of lenses. Attention to the orientation of the lens. Make sure it is correct. For example, the collimated biconvex of this BM110 is at the bottom, and the crescent is facing up, and the biconvex is divided into positive and negative sides. Must pay attention to distinguish. Double check the lens. It must be spotless. If during installation there's dust floating up, you can use this small tool to remove dust. Align the position and press. Now we assemble the collimating mirror and attach the tamper-proof label. Then we can disassemble the focusing lens module and the middle protective lens. Inspect and replace. The modules need to be cleaned with alcohol or dust-free cloth because there's a lot of dust here. Since we just replaced the protective lens, this interface should be sealed. Then remove the screws below. We can see if the lens is contaminated. The middle protective lens should already have a boning point. Obviously, this has 3 bone points, so we have to replace it in time. Protect the lens. The specification of the protective lens is the same as that of the lower protective lens. It's 7.9 by 4.1 millimeter. We take it down. Usually, the middle protective lens and the lower protective lens can be replaced together. For example, if there is a serious pollution in the cavity, we can also use dust-free cloth to do deep cleaning. We have now replaced it. Put the lower protective lens back on. Sealed well. Now we go to replace the focusing lens. The gas pass here is also sealed. Dust particles will enter. Next, we can disassemble the focusing lens module. To use this special tool to unscrew the focusing lens module, let's take a look at its mirror situation. When it's 2 or 3 bone points, the focusing lens module should also be replaced in time. The focusing lens module crescent is below, biconvex on top. There's also a gasket inside. Also note that this biconvex is divided into positive and negative sides. We've replaced the lenses and put them back. After installing the lens module, put the rest of the modules back in, put the sensor assembly back on, seal the interface, put a temper stick here. After replacing all the lenses, next step, let's use a red light laser pen to check the condition of lens. And the focus position is normal. Now see that all black shadows and light spots have disappeared, thanks to our replacement of the entire set of optical lenses. If the zero focus position is not at the nozzle, that is, when the thickness spot is not at the nozzle, it means that the lens must be installed backwards or is in the wrong place. We need to check and correct in time. Current focus is normal right at the nozzle. We can install a nozzle to check its alignment. It can be seen that the light spots here are not coaxial. We can pass coaxial screws on both sides to adjust it. Do a preliminary coaxial, saw the laser. After installing the fiber, use Scotch tape to make a precision coaxial. Like this. Just a rough coaxial. All repair work is now over. We can also test whether the sensor is abnormal. The black pen should conduct the inner core of the radio frequency line. The red pen is placed at the nozzle. The negative value should be below 2.5 ohms to indicate normal. It's currently 0.2, indicating that the sensor is normal. Thanks for watching.